Hey guys, Dr. Frank here, founder of Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching Programs, where we help people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and a whole host of other addictions, including pornography addiction, gambling, social media, gaming addiction, you name it, we can probably help. Okay, so in today's video, I want to take a brief moment and talk about why I quit smoking carts or the THC cartridge oils. And then I'm going to talk about some reasons why you might want to consider quitting as well. So let's jump right into it. For those of you who know who I am from TikTok and YouTube, you know I struggled with THC addiction or marijuana addiction. It started maybe around the age of 24. I didn't smoke till later in life, and that carried on throughout my college career into early adulthood and even into my professional life to a small extent. I quit when I was about 28. When I first started smoking, it was just dry herb. I would smoke out of a bowl, a bong, a one hitter, then eventually a volcano vaporizer, and I had the portable PAX 3 vaporizer unit as well for the dry herb. And that was one thing I would normally smoke at night. It would be on weekends usually. Wasn't really a concern of mine at the time. I think the binge drinking and the nicotine probably should have been more of a focus at that point in time, but nonetheless. Time went on, and then I bought my first black market THC cartridge. It was a Dank Vape. I bought my first Dank Vape cartridge. And I looked at the box and it said third-party testing on it. I had purchased it from my plug, and it looked very, very shady, but I didn't care because I wanted to get high. And I remember the first time I smoked it, I was like really, really high. And someone described it as a high without integrity. This was very, very different from the high that I was accustomed to getting from dry herb or regular, just grass or even an edible for that matter. This was different. And I said, oh shit, this is probably bad news. This is probably something that's bad. I probably shouldn't do this. Went through a full gram cart in probably about a week. And then after that, I just kept buying them. They were convenient to use. They were easy to use. They didn't really smell. At the time, I was living back at home with parents because my addictions were just destroying my life. So it was bad. Now let's talk about why I quit carts and why I think they're so bad. So, okay, I was addicted to them. Now I've quit them. How did we get here? Thing number one, if you're not walking into a dispensary and buying the cart from a state-regulated dispensary, chances are it's fake, especially if you live in a state where there hasn't been legalization of THC products recreationally. If you are buying a THC product and you don't live in a state where it's legal and your plug is selling it to you, chances are it's fake and it's off of the black market. So how do you know if it's real? Not your plug, you physically walked into a dispensary and purchased it yourself. If it is from a plug, chances are it is fake, unless you're paying 90 to 100 bucks for a gram of relatively strong THC. Anything that you're paying really less than that, it's either not real or it's probably really poor quality. So keep that in mind too. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is a lot of these black market products, black market THC cart products now have fake lab testing results. So there's actually a fake QR code that brings you to a fake website that has fake third-party testing regarding what's in that product. Regular third-party testing usually tests for THC, CBD, other terpenes, other cannabinoids. It shows you all the pesticide profiles. It's pretty extensive stuff. And I'll tell you, there's been some fake carts on the market that have gone to extreme lengths to provide fake third-party testing for these products. So when you get the product that says organic, domestically grown, third-party testing, click the QR code here. It could be BS. These dealers, these plugs, these suppliers, they've gone to extreme lengths to flood the market with black market carts and provide fake third-party testing. So again, unless it's from a dispensary and has state-validated third-party testing, and you want to see all those things in the third-party testing results, I'm going to call BS on the cart. Don't worry about how the oil moves, what it looks like, the bubble. Forget all that. No, forget that. You go to a dispensary, you get it from a dispensary, or a presumed fake, okay? Thing number 3, a lot of these products have added drugs in them. So a lot of black market THC products have added drugs, including spice or K2, which is synthetic marijuana, trace amounts of opioids, trace amounts of fentanyl. There's been reports of heroin being in some of these products. Okay, so the reality is, I don't know what you're smoking. So many people reach out to me and they talk about greening out or cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. So greening out is referring to when you take a few rips of a cart, usually, can happen on edibles too, but usually a cart, and the person basically greens out. They throw up, they vomit, they get psychosis, depersonalization. It's a horrible experience and it lasts about a day or two. What if you didn't green out? What if you just overdosed or reached a level of toxicity of another drug that cart was laced with? Something can be laced and you don't necessarily have to overdose from it. Just because it's laced doesn't mean you're going to overdose or reach a level of toxicity of that drug. You could have just greened out from it. So one, are you actually greening out? Because it would take a lot of THC to green out. It would take a lot of weed to green out. But it wouldn't take a lot of THC laced with opioids or fentanyl or K2 or spice to green out. So that's thing number 1. Did you green out or did you overdose? Thing number 2 is cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. So many people talk about vomiting and stomach pain and nausea when they quit or during active use. And the only thing that makes them feel better is using more. So here's my question. Do you have cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome? Or are you going through drug withdrawals from much more hardcore substances where there's trace amounts of them within this black market THC cartridge? I suspect a lot of you are actually suffering from opioid withdrawals and other withdrawals like that because of all the gastrointestinal system problems you're having, or spice or K2, which is like a synthetic version of THC that binds to the back of the brainstem with a much stronger affinity than standard THC from cannabis, which could also cause all those problems. So are you greening out or are you overdosing? Do you have cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, or are you going through like opioid withdrawals or other withdrawals from a laced cart? So why would a drug dealer do this in carts? And this is why I hate carts so much. 1, it's cheaper for the dealer, so they make more profits. And 2, the more addicted you become, the more you're going to keep coming back for more. So this dealer, this plug, has you underneath their thumb. That car, that new phone, you bought it for them. Right? And they know how to keep you coming back. Some of these carts even are found to have nicotine in them when they're tested. So for those reasons, I decided it was time to quit carts when I put all that together. Quite frankly, weed used to be fun. It was something I once enjoyed. And then when I got into smoking carts or black market products, everything went downhill. My use went way, way up. My dependency, my addiction went way, way up. My finances were being damaged. My health was taking a tremendous toll. Mentally and physically, I was starting to suffer from extreme psychosis, depersonalization, and social anxiety. And it was time for me to realize something that I once enjoyed, something that was once a fun pastime, was now a raging addiction that was destroying my life. And I think a lot of you guys watching these videos are getting to that point. So if I didn't convince you to maybe start to question the addiction or start to question quitting carts, watch some of my other videos on quitting nicotine, quitting pornography, and just replace the word nicotine or pornography with carts. And I think that's going to help a lot. Remember, when you start to quit, it's going to take a tough mindset and a realization that something that was once fun is no longer fun anymore. But more importantly, realize that some of these withdrawals, which I'll make videos on how to get through the cart withdrawals, might not actually be withdrawals from carts. They might be withdrawals from a much stronger drug. Drop a comment below and let me know what type of withdrawals you're suffering from and what you need me to make a video on next. I always read the comments. I always respond to them. And then be sure to call our offices. We work with this. You can make an appointment with me one-on-one. We charge very moderate price, very fair pricing for this. I'm happy to help you guys, whether it's CHS or something else going on with carts. I'm happy to help. So give us a call, drop a comment below, and stay tuned for the next video. I'll see you in the next video, which has to do with recovering from cart addiction or THC cart addiction. I'll see you there.